So we can see what is the professional ethics. So ethics is also a moral philosophy, is a branch of philosophy that involves systemizing, defending, and recommending concepts of right and wrong behavior. So, what is the history of ethics? So, this is all the history of ethics. So, Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh. So, Homer like the Eddas and the Almanas and the Amenas. So, this is all the ethics of the uh, Indian ethical books, so which is the Tirukural and the Kausalya Arthashastra. So, what are the types of ethics? So, meta ethics, normative ethics, and the applied ethics. So, metaethics is the branch of ethics that seeks to understand the nature of ethical properties, statements, attitude, and the judgment. So, according to Richard Hammer and Bernard Ozone, what is the meaning of moral terms or judgments? So, what is the nature of moral judgment? How many moral judgments be supported or defended? So, this is the meta ethics. So, normative ethics. Normative ethics investigates the questions, set of questions that arise when considering how one ought to act morally speaking. Normative ethics can be divided into a sub-disciplines of moral theories and applied ethics. Three competing views: virtue ethics, deontology, and phenomenology. So next one is the applied ethics. Also, applied ethics is the philosophical examinations from the normal or moral standard point or a particular issues in privating and publicing life that are matters or the moral judgment. So bioethics. So next business ethics, professional ethics, mission ethics, and relational ethics, military ethics, and the public service ethics. So first of all, we can see the what is professional ethics. And profession is an vacations founds upon a specialized high educational training, the purpose of which is to supply objective counsel and service to others for the direct or indefinite compensation. So professional ethics encompasses the personal and corporate standards of behavior aspect of professional. The Center for Professional Ethics was established in the case Western Reserve University, Canada. So this is the component of the ethics. So honesty, integrity, transparency, accountability, confidence, objective, respectfulness, obedience to the law. These are all the components of the quality of the ethics. So this is the honesty which is quoted by the Mahatma Gandhi. So the no uttered from the deepest conviction is the better than the yes merely uttered to the please or the words to avoid trouble. So this is the quoted by the Mahatma Gandhi. So honesty refers to the facets of the moral characters on the denotes positiveness and virtues attributes such as integrity, truthfulness, and the straightforwardness, along with the absence of lying, cheating, and the theft. Honesty is the best policy if I lost minor honor or I lost myself. So it is said by the William Shakespeare. So integrity. So integrity is the concept of consistency of action, values, methods, measures, principles, expectations, and outcomes. So integrity can be regarded as the opposite of hypocrisy, that it regards internal consistency as a virtue. The word integrity derives from the Latin adjective integer, that means wholeness. So integrity without knowledge is weakness, are useless, and knowledge without integrity is dangerous and the gratefulness, which is quoted by the Samuel Johnson. So transparency. So transparency is the general quality. So it is implicated by the set of policies, practice, and the procedures. So it allows citizens to be accessibility, accessibility, so utilities, understability, informativeness, and audibility of information and process held by the center of authorities, so which is the society or the organization. So lack of transparency results in the dispute and a deep sense of insecurity. So it is the Dalai Lama, which is said by the Dalai Lama. So accountability. So accountability is the this is actually a case study. So I have pictorial representations. What is to be yes and what is to be not. So like what is don't do's and what is the don'ts. So accountability is often used synonymously with such concept as answerability, blameworthiness, liability, and other terms associated with the expectation of account giveness. It is the acknowledgement and assumptions of responsibility for action, product decisions, and policies, and be answerable for resulting consequences. It cannot exist without proper accounting practice. So accountability, so which is a field, politically accountability, ethically accountability, accountability in administration and education, individual accountability, constituency relations, public and private overlaps. When a man points a finger at someone else, he should remember that four of his fingers are pointing at himself. So it is said by the Louis Nazer. So confidentability, so confidentability is the an ethical principle of discretion associated with the professions such as medicine, law, and psychotherapy. In law and mediations, there exist communications between the client and the professional, which are the privileged communications. So in business, and the confidentability of the information of mainstream adaptations of the need to know. So in military, it is the basics to be the security of the corporate information. So confidentability regarding whose interest, which interest. So confidential information about workers, employees, colleagues, and the competitors. In intelligent work, there are limits to the amount of information one can share. Confidentability is then essential, so which is said by the disease. So which is objectivity. So objectivity is the principle of journalistic professionalism. In journalism, objective may be synonyms with the neutrality. So objective in journalism enables highly accelerated news reporting and delivering, which sometimes is an attention with standard of objectiveness. So the belief is an objectiveness is the faith in fact disturbed in the values and the commitment to the segregation. So it is the Michael Sharon. So respectfulness, give it and to get it. So this is the basic common word. So we have to give respect and take respect. So respectfulness gives an positive feeling of esteem for a person and conduct representatives of the esteemed. So respective can be specific feelings of regards for the actual quality of the one respected. Rude conduct is usually considered in the initiate of lack respect and disrespect, whether the action of honor someone or somebody or something initiative with the respect. So the opposite of respect is contempt. So I speak to everyone in the same way, whether he is a garbage man or the president of the university. So it is said by the Albert Einstein. Respectfulness. So language respect is shown in many languages, such as an honorific is a word or expression. An anti-honorific forms a style is a legal, official, or recognized hand gesture. So when a person's foot accidentally touches a book or any written materials, manifestation of the godness of the knowledge Saraswati. So this also counts for money, which is considerably as a manifestation of the goddess of the wealth Lakshmi. Right. So obedience to law. Law is the set of enforced rules under which the society is governed. Law is one of the most basic social institutions and one of the most necessary. The law thus establishes the rules that defines the person's rights of obligations. The law also sets penalty for people who violates their rules. So, in fact, the laws frequently are changed to reflect changes in the society needs to the attitudes. Law is the systems of rules and guidelines which are enforced through social institutions to govern the behaviors. So the formation of the laws themselves may be influenced by the constitutions, so written or unwritten. So it may be a written constitution or maybe a unwritten constitution. The law shape politics, economics, and the society countless ways to serve as a social mediator of relationship between the people. So an unjust law is itself a species of violence. So arrest for its breach is more so. So it is also said by the Mahatma Gandhi ji. So obedience to law, legal subjects. So these are all the legal subjects. These are the legal systems. So legal subjects to international law, constitutional and administrative law, criminal law, contract law, tort law, property law, equity and trust law. So the legal systems are the civil law, common law and the equity, and religious law. So whistleblowing. So, so whistleblowing is the person who tells the public or someone an authority about illegal dishonesty and illegal activities occurring in a government department or a private company or organization. So, whistleblower is the person who raises concern about fraud, corruptions, wrongdoing, and the mismanagement. So, yeah, government employees who expose corruptions practice within his department is a whistleblower. So, he is an employee of a private organizations who raise his voice against misconduct within company. So, misconduct can be classified in several ways, such as violation of Indian laws, posing direct threat or to the public interest, which may be a fraud or of the corruption. So, violations of the health or safety norms, irrespective of practices. So dimension of ethics. So we call it as 3 R's of the ethics. So rules, responsibility, and the respect. So 3 R's of the ethics. The codes of the ethics, the primary aspects of the codes of the ethics is to provide the basic framework for the ethical judgment for the professionals. So the code of ethics are guidelines for a specific group of professionals to help them perform their rules, to know how to conduct themselves and to know how to resolve various ethical issues. The code of ethics helps the professional to apply moral and ethical principle to the specific situations encountered in the professional practice. This course conveys the rights, duties, and obligations of the members of the profession. Positive rules of codes of ethics, so inspirations, guidance, supports of responsible conduct, iteration and discompletions of unethical professional conduct, education and promoting of mutual understanding, contributing to the positive public image of the profession. Protecting the status and the within the profession, promoting business interests through the restraint of the trades. So inspiration, so ethical codes provides a positive inspirations for the professional to exercise their obligations effectiveness. So this course inspires the engineers to apply moral principles under the various configuration situations. So these are the guidance, the ethical code guidance. So guidelines for achieving the obligations of professional. These codes also provide specific guidelines which tells how to people the code to the unique situations. So support so ethical codes offers positive and potential supports to engineers to perform their duties in the ethical manner at the time that codes can serve as legal support for those engineers who are tangled in a professional obligations and the conflicts. Um, so this all the ethical codes can be as deterring the and disciplining unethical profession conduct. These codes are also considered as a formal basis for investigation unethical conduct. So the ethical codes can be used in an ethical institution or other places for emphasizing the importance of the moral issues and values. They are also useful to encourage a shared understanding among professionals, the public and government organizations concerning the moral responsibility of the engineers. So contributing to the profession's public image, the ethical code confers a positive image to the public of an ethical commitment profession. The code enables the engineers to serve the public more effectiveness. So, conducting the status, the code institute the ethical convocations. These ethical convocations can be promote minimum acceptable level of the ethical conduct. The code can also suppress the dispute within the professions. So, promoting business in interests, the code of ethics promotes business interests through the restraints of trades. This helps in facilitating moral feasible business dealing to the professionals. So limitations of code of ethics. So code of ethics are broad guidelines restricted by the general phrase. The codes cannot be applied directly on all situations. So even engineering codes of have internal conflicts in several entries in codes overlapping with each other, so which may result in the moral dilemma. The court cannot serve as the final moral authority for the professional context. So, computer ethics is the study of ethical issues that are associated primarily with computing missions of the computing profession. So computer ethics don't use a computer to harm other people. So do interface with the other people's computer work. Don't snoop around the other people's computer file. Don't use a computer to steal. Don't copy or use proprietary software for which you can be not paid. Don't use the other people's computer resource without authorization or proper compensations. Don't appropriate other people intellectual outputs. So these are all the computer ethics. So think about your social consequences of the programs you can or waiting of the systems or you are designing. Use a computer in which and ensure considerations and the respect for your fellow humans. So these are all the medical ethics. So medical code of ethics is the documentation establishing the ethical rules of the behavior of physical and dental practitioners, defining the practitioners of their profession work, showing the principles in the relationship with the patients, other the doctors on the rest of the community. So these are all the medical ethics. The greatest ethical impact of for the physicians in the welfare of the patients. So the doctor should approach the patients with consideration, respecting their personal dignity, right to the intimacy and privacy. So legal ethics encompass an ethical codes of governing the conduct of person engaged in the practice of law and a person more generally in the legal sectors. So these are the codes of ethics for the lawyers. Competency, having required knowledge or to handle clients usage, maintenance good communication with clients, advice or counsel with clients, protecting client property, honesty. So honesty is with clients, judges, and the other parties. Codes of ethics for clients, completely providing the information to our lawyer, maintaining good communication with lawyer, do not harm the opposing party, do not deal directly with the opposing party, honesty with lawyer judgment on the other parties. So code of ethics for the judges, analyzing all the data that are provided, should not be partial, should give the correct judgment, should complete the case on the time. Similarly, code for ethics for teachers. The teachers of duly licensed professionals who possess dignity and reputations with the high moral values as well as technical and professional competences. The teacher and the state, the possess and actualize full commitment and devotions to duty, shall not engage in the promotion of any political, religious, or other partisan interests. So the teachers and the community to provide leadership initiative to actually participate in the community movement, students and understand local custom and the traditions. The teachers and learners has the right and duty to determine the activity marks and promotion of learners in the subjects they handle. Shall not accept directly or indirectly any remuneration from the tutorials. Base evaluation of the learners' work on the merit and the quality of academic performance. Exercise utmost distance to the avoid scandals, gossip, and the professional treatment of the learners. Shall not inflict corporal punishment on the offending learners or not make the detection from the socially dating. The teachers and the parents establish maintain cordial relationship with parents, inform parents through proper authorities of the proper progress of the deficiency of the learner under him. Here parents campaign with the sympathy and understanding. The teachers as a person. So live with dignity in all the places in not the all times. Place priming upon the self-respect on the self-discipline, maintaining at the all time of the dignity personalities, recognize the Almighty God or being a guide of his own destiny of the destinies of the men and the nation. So environmental ethics is the study of the to explore the ethical roots of the environmental movement to understand more what ethics tells us about the our responsibility in the ethical marketing. So this is the marketing ethics. Ethics is an area of applied ethics which deals with the moral principle behind the operation and regulations of marketing. Somewhere on the marketing ethics of advertising and promotion overlaps with the media ethics. Journalism ethics and the standard compromise the principle of ethics and the good practice are applicable to the specific challenge faced by the journalist. So thank you for the patience.